Connor,
Question?
I could have a question for you this week. I don't know.
You could?
Maybe.
Wait.
Yeah.
Do you actually... Wait, is there not one, or is there...
No, I do have one. I'm just fucking with you. If you were to... Okay, you've taken over Doctor Who for a season, right?
Oh, my
and
dream.
And you've been given this crazy task. Only one season.
Uh-huh.
But you've got to do something that really shakes it up and makes it a lot different to every other season of the show. Something super bizarre.
Oh, God. God's sake. I think a really cool thing to do would be a reverse regeneration. Like one of the Doctors comes back, and it's like, the hell? Don't know who would reprise their role. Probably Matt, of all people, would probably be like, yeah, I'll do it. I think that'd be pretty cool for a season, just to him to go back, and there's a reason why, and maybe it's got something to do with Gallifrey. Maybe it's just a regeneration thing that happens after a while, because he is like.
But then when Matt then has to regenerate, does he then have to regenerate into Pete and then back into Jodie?
I don't think so. I think this is my great writing skills. Aidan's just thrown in my plot hole. No, I think. I remember there was all these like dumb rumors that apparently that was going to happen. Like, oh, there's going to be reverse regeneration, which is just such bollocks. It's not going to happen. I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe even like. Even something, I don't know what they're doing with Time Lord Victorious, but something like that I've always been interested in visiting. Like maybe it'd be really cool for maybe if a season we went back to just not even David or Matt coming back as like a reverse regeneration, but what if like we got to see adventures of like David's Doctor? That was like a bit of like a what if, if we did like a what if season like they do with like all the Marvel comics and stuff. Like I think like a what if thing would be really cool, which is literally what Big Finish is a lot of the time. If they did like a cool like live action version of like him going back to the Time War and maybe just trying to what would happen if he went back to the Time War and just tried to stop it? I think that'd be pretty cool. What would you do? What would you do?
Mine is relatively similar to your last point actually though.
Yeah.
In terms of like a series of what ifs, like maybe something's gone wrong and certain points in time have been altered. And then it's like alternate history.
Yeah.
And so each episode is like a new time zone in the past and the future.
Oh, cool.
Where the Doctor has to like rectify things and bring them back. And you can play with this because obviously any historicals will be like, massive, like Hitler won the war or something like that.
Right.
But then, like I said, you can have some stuff in the future that plays on some things that like we think might happen. I don't know. But then they can also have a lot of fun with like out of space and do like... And that's when you can mess a bit more up with the Doctor Who lore.
Yes, yeah.
Do what if the Time Lord, the Time Lords won the Time War or something,
Yeah, literally. That's what I think's so cool about. Again, we don't really know what they're doing with it per se, so I can't really speak on the matter if they're going to do like a what if the Time Lords won the Time War or something like that. But that's why I'm so interested to see what they're going to do with Time Lord Victorious, because I think that's like an idea of something that I'd just love to see. Even the whole idea as well is like maybe it's like a what if like David's Doctor kind of just goes like drunk with power almost, and like kind of just takes it a bit too far and becomes in the position that Rassilon was and goes back to like Gallifrey and stuff. And I think a cool thing like that, almost what I thought they were going to do with John Hurt's Doctor. I always thought John Hurt's Doctor was going to be the main villain of the 50th when I first heard about him. It was just like a Doctor that just like killed people and was just like was literally just born, was like regenerated into someone who was just a terrible person. Like I thought they were going to do that with the 50th. Literally when I sat down to watch it, I thought that's what it was going to be. But something like that'd be pretty cool. I'd love to write at least a episode of Doctor Who at some point. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
but
writing or directing an episode would be
that'd be
awesome.
lit. I feel like we're kind of blowing our chances
just doing
here.
Something for like Big Finish or writing like a Doctor Who novel, that alone would be like just an awesome thing to be like, I've done something Doctor Who related that people are gonna watch and listen to.
Yeah, and you can have fun with Big Finish. You could literally do something like what we're talking about. That will not to the extent of like an Evil Last Doctor, but I'm saying like you could do stuff like alternate timelines and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. But these I actually thought this week about the question you were going to ask me. I thought you were going to say, what's your favourite Earth-based story? For some reason. I thought, because it's an Earth-based story, which we're reviewing this week, I thought you were going to ask me So in the car today, I was like,
theorize things.
I was trying to think of my favorite, even though you're probably not going to ask me. I was like, oh, what if he says this? I'm going to have to quit, because they always send me. I literally listen to it every week, our show, and I always laugh when you ask me questions, because I'm just like, you can so tell I'm trying to keep it together because it's a live show, but I'm like, I don't know what to say. That one went okay. The last couple were tough, so you're doing a great job there, and it's a great way to start the show as well, I reckon. So well done.
It is. It's fun.
That was Aidan's idea.
Speaking of starting the show, shall we yeet into it properly? Welcome.
Start the show
to another episode of the 50% Doctor Who podcast. We've made it to 4 episodes. Wow.
Who defunct it? Not me.
Who defunct it?
I'm actually loving it though. I'm really, really, really enjoying it.
It is good fun. It's definitely stressing me out time-wise. But
that's what we're doing early this week, because Aidan's got to go tomorrow, so we're doing this one on a Tuesday. We normally film on a Thursday, but today we're doing Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going out of town for like 4 days.
When do you leave? Tomorrow?
No, Thursday.
Okay. So yeah, we're filming early this week, which is fine. I only finished the episode yesterday, but I really loved watching it. When did you finish it? You finished it last week. That's right. You said.
Yeah, I watched it last week.
You said,
just to get ahead a little bit. But yeah, before we dive into what's happening this week, don't forget, give us a fat subscribe to our show if you think you want to hear some jolly good boys having a laugh about Doctor Who. Because, look, I don't care too much about like viewing figures and stuff like that. Like I'm not upset about that kind of thing.
He's not a numbers man, guys.
No, I'm not a numbers man. But last week, if you listened, which I know no one did, there was a lot of... You did? Great, so did I. There was a lot of things that went wrong, and it took a long time to edit. But, there wasn't many viewerships there, which is fine. But it's like, sometimes it's disheartening when I've got to like go in and
our
work
first
really
episode
hard
on YouTube
to fix up some stuff.
Did surprisingly quite well. I don't know if you saw. Had like 30 views, which I know it's not. But that's quite a lot, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's all gone downhill from there.
Yeah, so, it's like, we started with a bang. We peaked too early, as the old saying goes. And can I just say as well, though, I did notice, I literally just finished listening to our episode a couple of, like an hour ago. And I did notice that you put in the description on Spotify that people can send us questions through Anchor. So if you are a fan, and you do want to do that, we'd love to hear you.
We would. We'd love to hear our one and only our only fans.
I was going to say that. I should probably send one through on Spotify. And be like, I'm such a huge fan because I listen every week on Spotify. But there must be someone out there on Spotify. How many people on Earth? Like 8 billion? Must be someone on Earth who's listening to this.
If you do, we'd love it.
Yeah, so I did notice. I don't know if you just put that there. I didn't notice it before.
No, You can choose to switch the button on or off.
I see.
They put
we need to do that. We need to do that on our
one.
On me and Dan's one. I didn't know you could even do that. But that's exclusively through Anchor, I believe. So you need to get the Anchor app.
But there's a link there for it.
Yeah, there's a link, and you can send us questions, and we'll answer your question on the show, and we'll shout you out on the show. And
we would just love to know people are watching.
Yeah, poor Aidan. I do feel bad that he has to edit each. I got horrendous texts and Snapchats this week of like, Conor, you dog, because of you and your non-headphone wearing head.
But we've done 3. We've learnt from each of them. Hopefully today we're smooth sailing with a great episode that'll take not long to edit.
I think it'll be okay.
I genuinely have 0 time this week to edit. So
I think it'll be. I actually do think it'll be okay.
I think so as well.
Let's touch wood.
Today we are talking about The Aliens of London and World War III, Season 1, Episode 4 and 5. So, Series 1. People get really butthurt about that. Season relates to the classic Who, and Series is Rose onwards.
Really? So, I did not know that.
That's a fact. So, sorry, it's Series 1, Episode 4 and 5, Aliens of London and World War III. They are once again directed by Keith Bulk, the boy who directed Rose. That's the only 3 episodes of Who he's directed, which is cool. And it's a 2-part story written by Russell T. Davies. So, if you've not watched it, stop here, go watch it, come back, have a listen. That's how this show works. Bit of a rewatch podcast, right? Conor?
Yep.
You look shocked.
No, I went to yawn and I covered my hand to stop the into the mic. So I did that. I am shocked though. I'm shocked how great you are at this.
Oh, look, I just like to talk, so I just...
That's all right.
I enjoy having my spew at the
Aidan's
start
the
of
notes
each
man.
episode.
I think you do a great job. I think it's great. I'm aweing it.
That's great. That's amazing. Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't care for your thanks and praise, but...
Yep.
Do you wanna start us off?
Sure.
Give us some thoughts on the episode. I don't know. How do you want to do this? Do you want to do it like part 1, part 2, or just like a combined chat?
I thought about this. I think maybe we should just talk about it as its own thing. I think that helps. Yeah. Yeah, I love this episode. I've always loved it. I've said like our last couple of episodes like that we've done on the show, how I never really fell in love with the show until these 2 episodes. I absolutely loved it. I love how it's an Earth-based story. I love the Slovenia's characters. I love how it's like set in London in 10 Downing Street. We get to see Jackie and Mickey again, which is great. The Slovene scared me as a kid. I found it funny, scary. It was like adventurous. There's so many things I just love about it, and it really, I know you'll agree with this. It really helped that it was a 2-parter. I think it gave a lot of time for the show, for the episode and like the story to just take its time to like build, and I feel like this would never have worked as like a single episode.
No.
And pretty much the whole second part is set in 10 Downing Street, apart from like the scenes in like Mickey's apartment and stuff. But that stuff is great. Again, like, it had everything that I wanted. It's like, it's adventurous. It was scary. It was funny. It's literally, I was literally thinking today, it's like, it's actually up there, like one of my favorite episodes, I should say.
Weird?
Yeah, go on.
You know what's really weird as well? Well, one, it's not rained all day, and it's starting to rain whilst we're shooting this again, so that's fantastic. We literally, whenever we go to shoot this podcast, it gets stormy and rainy, which isn't great.
Is that a sign from Neptune itself?
Could you hear it in the last show when you listen to it?
It's funny because when I'm here, I can't. But then when I'm listening to, because I heard you talk about a truck last week or something like that, and I heard it on Spotify when I was listening to it. I did hear that, and I did also hear the rain. But when you say that, no, I can't. But we're not that far away from each other distance wise, and I can see and I can hear it is raining outside my bedroom right now. But no, I can't hear it. But I believe you can on the mics. Or your mic at least. I don't know if
I tried to edit it last week, so like the rain kind of faded out because it was more through my mic. But I tried to edit it so the rain kind of faded out, and so when you were talking and I wasn't saying anything, I just cut out my audio there. And
you need to get a Yeti because like literally if I walk away like this, you could barely hear me and stuff, and if I go around here, it's like it literally just goes straight to my mouth in like the setting that I've got. They're like $100. I'm thinking maybe
season 2.
And I got an arm you can have. A mic.
Oh, true.
A mic arm, which is what I've got, and that literally fits straight onto the Yeti. And a little bit of I had one I could give you, but it's like an old one and it doesn't screw into this. So like, the best thing you could probably do is just to get one of those, and Bob's your uncle, and you just download Audacity, which is free, and then you can record it. Which is what I do.
I'll probably buy one in in a few weeks or a month or so.
It'll be good for videos as well for you, just for like if you want to do voiceover or anything.
I do so much voiceover work in my videos, so it would really.
It's like and the quality of voice recording for how cheap the mic is bizarre. It's like amazing voice quality for. I think I paid $100 for this, and I've had it for like 4 years. And always remember I had 2. I gave one to Declan to borrow it once, my silver one. And I came back and it was just, it didn't work. I don't know what he did with it. And then I didn't say anything because I felt bad. I didn't want to say, oh, you have to pay for it. I had 2, so I gave him one to borrow. And then like years later, he's like, look, I feel really bad for breaking it. I'll pay for it. And I was like, nah, that's fine. But I don't know what he did. So just be careful. But I've had this for ages and I've never had any issues with it. I think it's. I love the black design as well, which is like really cool. And I got this. They don't sell them anymore at JB Hi-Fi. I got the little mic muffler from JB Hi-Fi as well. So. Yeah.
Once again, we go miles off topic.
I mean, you have to. It's 50%. You know. What did you think of the episode? Then go on.
All right, I got a few points. Do you want me to just go through them? Mm-hmm. Just chat through them.
I'd love to hear about it. Go on.
On any points?
Yep.
Yeah, firstly, like with what you were saying about the whole 2-parter and how I'd love it being a 2-parter, I absolutely did, man. I think this was like really well paced. I think it gave so much time to breathe, especially in the first part.
Mm-hmm.
There was so I felt like I was watching a movie, and that was really, really, really cool. And I think with those extra scenes, those extended scenes and stuff, I think it allows sort of the secondary characters in the Russell T Davies era to sort of shine, like Jackie and specifically Mickey.
He grows so much episode, yeah.
Yeah, they both did great this episode. But seriously, like Mickey, when he was saying like, how do you think I felt? They were accusing me of like killing you or whatever. I was like, fuck. As a kid, that stuff never like clicked in my head because as a kid, I was just like, girls. But like when you grow up, you're like, there's a certain level of responsibility.
Well, that's seriously what happened in real life,
Yeah, people point fingers, So I thought that was a great little line for Russell to throw in there when he says that. That was great. The use of Starman, that quality Bowie song, I thought was awesome. Once again, it's something that doesn't really happen very often in Who.
You just hear it in like the background. It's like not that loud, but like you could hear it because everyone's like partying. It's like welcome ET on like all the signs. It's like ET came home or some shit like that.
I love that sign.
Classic Britain, Yeah,
I'd love it if they I can't remember the exact words. Well, it's diegetic, but I can't remember if non-diegetic is what they used. It's to do with like when the sound is coming from inside of a scene. So obviously in this case, the sound was coming from a radio.
Yes.
And that's either diegetic or non-diegetic sound.
Right.
And so when the sound is like being played and, the characters can't actually hear it, it's just in the show.
Yeah.
Then that is the other one. It's either diegetic or non-diegetic. I can't remember which way around those words go.
Film student, guys.
I would have loved
Aidan
it
Green.
if they switched it from being like non-diegetic to diegetic halfway through the scene when the Doc goes down to his TARDIS or whatever. If they kept the song playing and they like made it louder so that we could just hear it and like the character couldn't hear it or whatever. I don't know. I just thought that would have been a cool little thing. And
sorry, just to clarify what I'm doing. While Aidan's talking, I'm just writing notes on a notepad of little things I want to bring up when he is done.
Oh my god!
I know. Is this like me? No, but I think
this
I probably.
Is a new Conor.
I think I probably should. Yeah, go on, Aidan. Continue. I am listening.
On that note, great music from Murray. I thought last week I thought the music was fine. It's always great with a Murray score, but I thought in particular this week had some standout tunes in there. The Slovene work really good, I reckon, as a villain. I think they're not the best villain in the world. I think their plan is like a little bit silly, and the costumes are a little bit silly and a little bit rubbery, but I think for the time they were really great.
Yeah.
And the CGI, once again, it's like passable. It's not amazing of them. Sorry, just to jump back to when I was talking about pacing earlier as well, I think the second part, it's so weird. I think with every Who episode and every sort of 2-part episode of any show, the second part always isn't as good as the first part. And I don't know whether that's like quality-wise of the episode. I think it's just because in the first part is when it's slower and it's all set up and you're getting new concepts being introduced and stuff like that. And with the second part, it's just like fun, action, everything sort of like coming together, which is cool and great to watch. Yeah. But I enjoy seeing the new things that the first part of each story will always set up. If you get me.
Yeah. It's weird. As a youngling as well, I would always notice that the second part's never. I think you're right. No, yeah, I think it's just like the whole idea of it. The first episode's always so fresh. It's like you don't know anything about the storyline. Like I think there's less suspense in the second episode because a lot of your questions are answered apart from like the one cliffhanger they normally end on, and then that's literally answered in the first couple of seconds or couple of minutes of the episode of the second part. But yeah. Are they your notes? Is that it?
Got just a couple more.
Yeah, go on. Yep.
I love the Big Ben shot with the ship cast into Big Ben. For one, that whole sequence is so I just love that ever since I was a kid.
Very iconic.
It's so iconic.
And they built a little. They basically. I know you would have watched Confidential and stuff, but they built like a little model of Big Ben. A lot of practical stuff this episode, which I gotta respect. Like that is really cool.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say about it. I'm pretty sure I didn't catch it this time, but I'm pretty sure the clock face is the wrong way because I remember watching Confidential, and they said they destroyed Big Ben from the wrong angle. So in post, they had to flip the shot so that it lined up with the ship as it comes in with continuity from the other shots. I think that's hilarious.
Right, because you can see it. You can see it broken in the shot with the Thames.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it has to hit it from a certain angle to make sense continuity-wise. So they had to flip the shot. And it worked perfectly fine, except for the fact that the Roman numerals are the wrong way around. But you can't notice. Like, I didn't notice watching it this episode.
Do you know a little really cool Easter egg? In Christmas Invasion, you see on the news that Big Ben's being repaired. You can see a little...
Yeah, I think I remember that.
It's really cool. There's a little continuity error. Because, like, you know, obviously it gets destroyed. And, like, you know, and they even say, like, in... little things that happen in this episode, like, affect previous seasons. Because in, like, when you see... in, like, Sound of the Drums and all that shit... They say, like, Down Street rebuilt and stuff, because obviously it blows up this episode, and there's little things like Big Ben and stuff, and, like, it does have consequences in the episode, but, yeah, anyway, continue, you're nice, yeah?
I think, I had something else to touch on that I didn't have written down, just a small thing. I hate the fact that they never really mention Unit. Like, they do it, and they go and they see him, but there's never a moment of the Doctor really being like, it's my old pals. Like, I think there's a reference that he used to work for them.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
I don't think the Doc even says that. Like, I think that's another character that says it. Like,
so,
it's just a thing of, like, Russell not bringing in, like, past who too much. And it's fine. It feels fun and fresh. But, like, I do feel like it was kind of weird for the Doc not to be like, look, it's Unit. He was just sort of like, that's the United Nations Intelligence Task Force.
Yeah, he's basically like, I know those guys, and he's like, I think Rose is like, how'd you know them? Mickey's like, because he used to work for them. And he's like, yeah, that's right, I looked you up and stuff and all that. And it took me this time to only notice this. It's all of Unit who are in that room with the Doctor. They're like the alien experts. They're all the people who die with him. And the Doc doesn't walk in and go, what's up, boys? Like, you know, it's just like, well, he does say like they wouldn't recognize me because he's obviously regenerated. But he doesn't even say anything. He just like, and they all die, and he's not like shedding a tear. He's just like, I didn't know who those experts were, but now that I was rewatching it, so that's the people that were in the room with them. It was all Unit and stuff, and I guess they're all dead, which is thanks, Russell. Russell loves killing people off. He really does. He loves that.
He does. Speaking of that with the Doctor, though, I think there was some really great character work with him towards, more so in the second part. I think the first part was great for like the recurring actors, and the second part was great for the Doc and a bit of Rose in terms of, both of them sort of, Rose kind of realizing that, she's not necessarily safe with the Doctor, and the Doctor sort of realizing that, he's kind of been running away from that point for the whole few episodes. He knows she's so young and she's not very safe. But he had like a big reality check this episode. Sorry that my voice broke, by the way.
That's what happens every week.
A lot. It does. I'm sure it does happen.
That's okay.
Every week. My last point is that the ending feels, it's once again so iconic, so perfect. I love the score. I love Harriet Jones running off.
All right, so good.
Waving her hands and just like all the stuff with the family and the very kind of tragic very last scene with the 10 seconds and the little piano just
absolutely love it.
Goes down.
I literally just wrote that down, literally just then to bring up. But yeah, I'll start at the top of mine. I just had a few from what you said. I'll quickly round them off. But I do, again, you said this, I do really love what they did with Mickey and the whole idea of like Jackie accusing him and stuff, and like you said, the whole neighborhood and like everyone was just like pointing fingers at him, and he got like questioned by the police 5 times and stuff. And the whole Rose missing thing as well. Again, you're so right. As a kid, I never picked up on any of this really being a big deal. Because I didn't understand months, didn't understand all that kind of thing. And like 12 months, they thought they'd been gone 12 hours. It's actually 12 months. So I thought it's a cool thing they never really kind of like deal with these days. Like, I still don't get how the Doctor messed that up, but cool. We'll let it slide. The score I wrote down as well, yeah. Of course, every week it's brilliant, especially in that last scene, like you said. Yeah, Harriet as well. Harriet, I love Harriet. She comes back. She's how many times? She comes back like 2 more times, I think.
Quite a few. Because she's in the Christmas special. She's in. Is she in season 2 at all or not?
I think she's only in Christmas Invasion and Stolen Earth. Maybe there's one more in between. Actually? I think she gets mentioned in.
I think she gets a Yeah, maybe she gets mentioned
in Sound
in
of Drums.
I was thinking in Doomsday when they go to the other world and he's like, who's prime minister now? And they're like Harriet Jones. I think I'm not sure.
Oh, and it's like, oh, I keep an eye on her.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah. So she's in Christmas Invasion. It gets mentioned in Doomsday. She also gets mentioned as being taken over by Saxon in Sound of Drums. I believe I might be wrong there, but I think there's a brief mention because she does become prime minister. So like I think they had to quickly check that out. And then yeah, she's in Star on Earth, and then she dies. So yeah. But yeah, she is a great character. I do. You're right. Just the waving of the arms at the end. It's like people of Earth. It's just like it's so, and the score as well. Yeah, the come on, me, dude. It's so iconic. Like it's such.
it is.
This episode, man. It sends me like I love all those scenes and
It is iconic. It's so iconic.
yeah, isn't it? I wanted to ask you this as well. When you were younger, I know we always go back to us being younger, but it's a very nostalgic show for us, especially at this point of the show. But I wanted to ask you. I always loved the Slovene. And I always wondered why they never used them again. They're in the background of some scenes that you see a couple at like a bar a few times. But they never use them as a villain. They do in Sarah Jane, but they don't ever in Doctor Who. Did you wonder why they never brought them back?
I can see why they shouldn't come back now, but I'm not sure. For me, I think, and I was talking to one of my mates about this the other day, I think they wouldn't come back because they are it's a very kind of dumb story in a way. It's very silly and it's very lighthearted, but it sort of introduces really big stakes for the first time in Doctor Who, or at least in New Who. And I think it was sort of like a fun way to sort of do this really massive story with like really high stakes without making it too depressing to watch and stuff. So I think for one, the story was really unique in that way. But I also think now they are just like a little bit maybe too silly to be in the show. Like, can you imagine if Moffat put out these creatures with like humans fighting and stuff? People would be like, "Oh, Moffat's such a shit writer." Yeah, that's a really big example of that. I think of how people were a little bit biased to a bit sometimes.
Oh, it was his. It was Russell's era. He was always like that. It was all good. Literally me.
Yeah. Why? Do you have some thoughts on that?
Actually, now just when you're answering that, to be fair, there is a Slovene in Boomtown. To be fair, but
yeah, I assumed you kind of included that.
No, I actually did forget that just then
wow.
until you said that. But no, another thing to remember as well, and they say in the episode they're actually not called. They're Slovene as their family, which is so they wouldn't even be Slovene, and that's another one of my mistakes.
They're in a book, in a David Tennant book.
They are, yes, and then like I said, they are in the Sarah Jane Adventures, which is a cool episode. But yeah, I do agree with the whole idea of like, look, it's a really fun episode, and I really do love it. But you know, there are so many times, and you're like, this would just never happen. And I do have to say that because there's just so many times you're like, this is literally Parliament. This is 10 Downing Street. There's no way in hell. Like, I love how like one of the officers is like, we should evacuate the building. And he's like, have you read the protocols? He's like, no. And he's like, then stop bugging me. And I'm just like, fair enough. Okay, I guess because you said that, no one's gonna even like, no one's gonna care. And they have all these people rocking up who are like, there's women from like the Yacht Society, and no one's really asking questions and stuff, and like they get nuclear codes just sent to them. There's so many dumb things, but it's just and Downing Street's like surprisingly empty. It's a huge place. It's Parliament. There's people everywhere. Like there's no way it's that empty. There are also a few. It's a particularly a really bad shot, which looks like it's completely green screen. You know that one where like the Slovene are completely CGI in one shot, and like Harriet and Rose run from one door to another. And, like the whole back looks like it's green screen, and then like the Slovene jump out, and it looks pretty bad. But I do respect the fact that the suits are practical, which is cool. I went through a stage when I was younger where like I watched this episode and then I know you said last week of Unquiet Dead you couldn't rewatch it. I went through a stage where I couldn't rewatch it. I remember one time my sister was watching it and I walked into the room and I saw a scene with the Slovene, and I was like, okay, I've seen it now. I don't have to be scared anymore. I can deal with it. And I remember I rewatched it, and I came to love it. You know how I always comment on Russell's like sex jokes?
Yeah.
I have another one.
Go on.
It's from the I think it's the guy who works at Unit. You know, the one who comes in and he's like, "What are you guys doing? You're bloody in Parliament and you're laughing at everyone. Everyone's dying." And then he becomes a Slovene.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna miss being so and so. I had a mistress, a thingy, a wife." He's like, "Oh God, I was busy." That's a sex joke, folks, which just went over all our heads as kids. But that's a sex joke. He was having sex with 3 women at different times. So thanks for that, Russell.
I thought of 2 points. Are you still going?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, good.
All right, yeah, I just want to say 2 more things. Yeah, anyway, I love the ending. I do love that scene where like the Doctor and Mickey kind of just like they do get to like a good place. Like he even offers for Mickey to come with them. Like Mickey has some amazing growth. Love Jackie in it as well. It's really cool as well how like he says like with the newspaper, it's like everyone saw it but they still deny it. There's a really cool line from X-Doc where he says like when people just hear about it, they believe it. When they see it, they don't believe it. I think that's a really good line. And yeah, like I said, I love the score of the 10-second scene. Finally, one more thing, another little goof that I thought of. So the secretary who dies and the prime minister, they're both in the closet.
Yeah.
They put the boys in the closet. When they go into the closet, when the bombs fall into 10 Downing Street, there's no bodies. But I was also thinking, is there 2 bodies in there? As the whole room's shaking, is there like white bodies?
I know.
smacking against the wall and back. But that's my goose and gas. But yeah, all in all, like yeah, I really do love it. I think it's a great episode.
I think in a lot of these early stories, there's a lot of like silly sort of continuity errors like that are just kind of a little bit of fun. But you just gotta get on with it. Oh
yeah, definitely. It didn't really affect the story for me. It's a bit of fun. It was just funny. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I got 2 things I thought of during that. One of them is Toshiko.
Oh yeah.
How good is she in this?
Is she playing Tosh?
I believe she does play Tosh in this.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is her.
Oh,
I can't remember why. I think it's referenced, or maybe I think Russell might have said it or something. But yeah, so it
might have been a line like, "I worked to so and so" or stuff. Like yeah,
remember.
Sure, yeah.
But last week we got Gwen's ancestor, and this week we got Tosh, which was fun. I wonder if Russell had in mind what he was doing. Like if he thought about bringing her back, or if he just like wrote Tosh and sort of was like, "Oh, that I know an actress who could do this really well," which I think was most likely the
It's
case.
interesting, isn't it?
Same with Gwen. Yeah, very interesting. I'd love an Ask Russell question, and we can just go and ask Russell.
Yeah, I wonder if he would be keen to answer our
I doubt it.
questions on Instagram. I mean, so do I. Need a little more views for that.
All right, point number 2. Okay, I've got a slight thing here, and if there's a fan listening that has an answer to this, or if you have an answer to this, Con, I'd love it. But I'm just a little confused. So, Rose, is she gone for 12 months? That's my first question. Is that what's said, or is it 12 or 6?
It's 12 months.
Okay, well, hold on. I'm just gonna. Is it worth me confirming that, or are you certain?
It's 100% because he says so you haven't been gone for 12 hours. You've been gone for 12 months. Been gone for a whole year. Yeah, so it was 12 months.
Okay, yeah. So how does it work when he meets Rose in 2005, and then a year passes, and then we have the rest of series 1, and then we have the Christmas invasion. So that must then be the 2006 Christmas, right? And if you're sat there saying that, wait, Rose can't be that the episode Rose is then in 2004, and then Christmas Invasion is in 2005, then that doesn't add up, because when David's about to regenerate and he meets Rose, and he says, "You're gonna have a great year." I kind of think David's drunk as fuck in that scene. He's just so
He's crying. He's in the scene. He's emotional.
You're gonna have a great year.
You're gonna have a really great year.
Yeah, that's
because he says 2000. She says 2005, doesn't she? She says no. Sorry, just January 1st, 2005.
Yeah, I'm really keen to rewatch that episode actually because one, it's actually shot in HD, which I don't think I ever respected at the time, and two, it's probably one of my least watched episodes of the show because I didn't really like it as a kid.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, both parts. I hardly remember, but I think they'll be a lot of fun to watch, even though they are kind of dumb. I think they'll be fun dumb.
Jeez, we're so far away from it. Actually, now that you say that thing with the whole 12 months thing, so Rose is 19 in this, correct?
I thought so, but doesn't she say she's 19 in Doomsday?
Well, here's the thing. That's what I mean, though, because like if she goes back to Earth 12 months later, technically she's 20.
But she's not.
So
like.
That's what I mean, though. But to everyone else, she is. Like, she would walk out of the TARDIS and I'd be like, "Oh, hi, Rose." And about how old am I? You're 20. It's been a year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So.
But that's because they don't know.
That's weird.
You know?
I know, but that's weird.
It is.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
That's weird. Like, that must happen heaps for companions. They wouldn't grow in, like, age-wise, but years would have gone past.
Yeah, they kind of address it with Amy and Rory a bit. They mention it, I think.
See, Moffat's onto this. Like, but what if you were in America and you had to be 21 to drink at the pub, and you were like, I don't know, 20 or something. You could just skip maybe a couple of months, come back in and be like, actually, I am 21, but it'd been the exact same day.
Yeah. Or the opposite thing can happen, and you can go off and you can go traveling for the doctor. You can be 18, go traveling with the doctor for 3 years. But then you're like, oh, fuck, I should probably go back and see my family, and I don't want them to think I've been gone for 3 years. So you go back to where you left off, and now you're actually 21, but in your timeline and on your passport and on your driver's license, it says you're 18.
Yeah, but, I just, if you're 21 and you leave at 19, 18, kind of like that, something like that, and 3 years pass, the dramatic difference between yourself and your 19, 18 to 21 is huge. People would notice. Oh, you just grew a beard overnight, did you? And just grow taller and change heaps. There's so many continuity errors in Doctor Who. Just call them out every week.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
God damn.
I'm just saying. It doesn't really make any sense, but, I don't think anyone even cares that much to dive this deep into it. No. Only but we would say that dumb shit.
It is interesting. Like, I would wonder if we asked Russell if he'd just be like...
next question.
How good's Partners in Crime? Or just, like, move on.
Oh, when you're in the TARDIS, you actually do age. And whatever year you go to, you just do this. And, yeah. And we're like, cool.
No, I'm more curious about the 12-month thing. Like, just what year it's all meant to be happening in.
See, whenever you try and... It's so difficult to know what, like, months and years it is in TV shows, like... Especially if, like, shows like this and, like... Say, even, like, Better Call Saul, when, like, you're trying to track how close it is to Breaking Bad, they very rarely show you what year it is. And it's the same with this. Like, you very rarely see... Because it's a time travel show, like, you very rarely even see when it's actually set, per se, you know? It's just, like... They never really did address it, which is fine. But, again, it's nothing I really noticed again, as a kid, I didn't even really know how much 12 months really was. I wasn't the brightest, though. I mean, still not, but...
I got 2 really great parcels in the mail this week, Connor.
Okay, what'd you get?
First one.
You didn't Snapchat this.
The charade, I've spoken about it to you, but not so much on the podcast, is... So I got the Series 11 Steelbook. I don't think... Maybe I spoke about it early on. I'm not sure. I got the Series 11 Steelbook from JB Hi-Fi, thinking, okay, if I start getting the Steelbooks, then they'll look a bit better on the shelf because my collection looks so jumbled of Doctor Who because Australia and everything can't get the covers right.
That's right.
So I was like, cool. Next time I'll buy the Series 12 Steelbook. So Series 12 came out. Waiting for the Blu-ray, saw Amazon UK announce their Steelbook, which lined up perfectly with the Series 11 one. I was like, amazing, because the Series 11 one was also an Amazon exclusive, but JB Hi-Fi, I guess, got the rights to sell that in Australia. Once again, my voice is broken. So
It's okay.
I kept checking the JB Hi-Fi website, like, okay, waiting for that Series 12 Steelbook. Next thing I know, I see it on there. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's cool. I'm going to dive into that. And then I look a bit closer and I realize, hold on. What they've done is they've done a JB Hi-Fi exclusive, but instead of making it the Series 12 Steelbook, they've got the Series 12 Steelbook cover and put it onto a normal Blu-ray case. So they have the special edition and the normal edition, and the only difference is that the special edition has the Steelbook case, but it's in a Blu-ray. It's not actually a Steelbook.
It's just the cover.
It's just the cover, yeah. So I was like, fuck this, and I went and paid $95 to buy the UK version. It's not that expensive if you're in the UK. It's just because of conversion rates and stuff like that.
Have you tried it on the TV? There's no like back in the day, not so much anymore, but they used to have like restrictions on like DVDs.
That's just on DVD. So that's still a thing on DVD, and on Blu-ray it's still a thing. We can't play American Blu-rays, but Australian can play UK Blu-rays.
Okay.
So I've ordered
that would
a few
suck.
things.
Imagine getting it after that and just being like, bro.
Yeah, Australia's doing quite bad at the moment with like releasing Blu-ray titles and stuff. It's really shit. Like The Lighthouse, for example, isn't getting a Blu-ray release.
Oh,
so
bought it on iTunes in the end, so I can watch it upstairs whenever I want. Yeah. I rewatched it literally like last week.
Films that I was wanting to get on Blu-ray for ages, and then when my nana was coming over a few months ago, I ordered them to her house for like £5 or something in the UK, and she brought them over. That was Requiem for a Dream and Little Miss Sunshine. Two really great films.
I love Little Miss Sunshine. That's a great movie.
Fantastic. But I wanted to watch it on Blu-ray, and I'm glad that I did.
They didn't sell the Blu-ray at JB Hi-Fi.
On DVD, and Requiem for a Dream you can't even buy on DVD or Blu-ray in Australia.
Requiem from a Dream, is that the one with
Jared Leto?
That's right. That's right. You know, when I saw you with the Series 12 Steelbook, I thought you picked it up when you picked up Last of Us on Friday at JB Hi-Fi. I thought you picked it up.
No.
Then.
So I got it from...
I had no idea you went through all this pain.
It was so much pain, man. But I tell you what, it's so worth it. It genuinely is the best looking Steelbook I own. It
does look pretty cool, to be fair.
I don't think pictures do it justice, man. Like, in person, it's just striking to look at. It's so fucking beautiful. Every time... I rewatched both parts of Spyfall over the weekend. And every time... For one, the production values on the show are great. But every time I go to put in an episode... I just look at the Steelbook and I just spend a good couple of minutes just going like, oh, fuck me, this looks good. It looks so good. And it's so much more like, it makes me want to watch it so much more than like just a normal Blu-ray case. It looks great. But
I was actually going to ask if you were going to wait till we caught up, because you would have been waiting years, but no, you're actually just going to watch it.
Yeah, I figured because it's going to be so far down the line, I'll just watch it.
It's going to be so
far.
I
really enjoy every season since, I think, Series 8. I've bought the Blu-ray immediately after it came out and watched the season, done like a second viewing right after. And I always have so much fun doing that. And I've really been looking forward to doing that with Series 12, which is great.
Wish I was.
But what was I going to say? Oh yeah.
What's the second thing?
The second thing. So, I mentioned on the show before that I ordered Series 1 to 7 on Blu-ray in a box set, and that's sort of why we're rewatching it, because I'm rewatching it for the first time in a long time, along with Conor, and I'm finally watching it in the full remastered HD glory. So when I ordered that Series 1 to 7 box set, it was meant to arrive, and it was late, and I emailed them, and they'll be like, okay, well, it might be in another 2 weeks or so, and I left it, and it still didn't come, and I emailed them back, and they were like, all right, we'll send you another one. They sent me another one, and a few days later, the original one came, and I was like, that's great. It's because the post...
Wait, did you get two?
Because of coronavirus, the post is shocking. Anyway, so I got it, and I was like, cool, dope. But the box was like the corners were a little bit beaten up, and you can't notice when it's on my shelf because of the way I positioned it. But then the other thing was the Series 6 and 7 Blu-rays, the plastic inside the flip things had broken a little bit. So the flip on the discs, the discs, the discs wouldn't come off of the flip thing, but the flip thing would come out of the case in a few of them. So I was like, that's bollocks. But there's another one on the way, so hopefully I can figure it out there. And lo and behold,
So you would have two?
I now have two, and I managed to swap out the cases, so I now have a complete collection that are all in great condition, but the box is just a little bit damaged, but that's fine.
So you went from you didn't have any of the Blu-rays for years, and now you have two.
Can I just point
each.
out, now I have all of Doctor Who on Stan for streaming. I have all of it on DVD, all of it on Blu-ray, and all of it on Blu-ray again.
Times two. Times two. He has it on Blu-ray twice. That is mad. They just sent you another one. They were like, fuck it.
Yeah, it was like
This
over
guy's
$300
annoying us, we're
that
gonna
they
send
wasted
it.
there.
Are you going to like sell it on like Gumtree or something?
I might do. I'm going to hold on to it for a little bit to see if there's any repercussions, and they might ask for it back. But to be fair, when my first one came, it got delivered to the wrong house. So I can just say I never got it.
What?
Like, I only got it because the person at that house dropped it off at my house.
It was on your street.
No, a completely different street.
How the fuck did they do
It
that?
just began with the same letter and it was the same number. But the actual address, it was a completely different street. So...
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I've got a friend at uni who... I've mentioned him before, Xavier. He's a massive Doctor Who fan. And he doesn't have them on Blu-ray or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
you might just get them 10.
Well, I was thinking maybe like I'll give it to him on his birthday or something. But it is like so pricey. I know I did get it for free, but I'm like, it wouldn't be bad if I earn a little bit back from the huge amount of money I spent on it. So if I was just to say like 50 or 100 or something for it.
Yeah. Well, look, the one of the coolest things it comes with is the specials, which I'm lucky enough to get I asked a friend I got the original one, but that's a hard thing to find. So that's a pretty lit thing to have in that whole box set as it is. Yeah. Does it have day on it? Does it end at day?
No,
or
it
does it end at
finishes on name.
Okay.
So my other plan for my collection, like I said, so now I rebought it. Another reason why I rebought it was so that everything looked a bit more... My voice broke again. So it looked a little bit more linear on my shelf. So now I have 1 to 7, all pretty much in like the same design, just the logo changes. But they're all like this nice black. It all lines up. And then I have Day of the Doctor through to Twice Upon a Time in these cases that are like all mismatched and they don't look great, but they're all on Blu-ray. And then I have 11 and 12 on Steelbook. So I'm going to be interested to see if they do how they've been doing all the Steelbooks? Once they get up to Day of the Doctor, whether they include that on the Series 7 Steelbook or if they do like a 2013 specials and put like Day of the Doctor, Time of the Doctor, and Adventure in Space and Time on its own Steelbook.
Right.
Which I'll get, but I would then get because you can't get Adventure in Space and Time on Blu-ray in Australia except if you got the beefy box set you can see in the background there. So... Which
I do, guys. The boys.
I'd commit to that. And then I'd probably get Capaldi's Era on Steelbook so it lines up with my Steelbooks.
If you want to get the the first 4 on Steelbook, they are insanely priced now because I think they only made like 1,000 or something ridiculous.
They're
like
ridiculous,
that.
Man.
So if you want to get I remember seeing them in JB Hi-Fi like very briefly. I remember I held one. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, but I already had it on Blu-ray, so I was like, I'll put it back. But if you actually have like one of those copies, they're so especially the first series. I think the first series goes for like $300 or something ridiculous like that, which is bizarre.
Oh, way more than that, like 700.
What?
Yeah.
Last time I checked was like last year.
Yeah, like
$700 for a Blu-ray.
Because I did
Who
consider
in their right mind would do that?
It's insane. But I don't think we could even get those.
You considered buying that.
So I don't know where you found that Steelbook.
In JB Hi-Fi, I think I saw the 3rd season, something like that. One of those.
Really?
I remember picking it up and being like, oh, cool. And then put it back, and I never saw a single one in there. Yeah, the one just down the road.
Because I
nearly said the name, but I didn't.
I know they don't do any of. They've not done any of them for like
really
the past few seasons at least. But
Maybe
I would have thought they wouldn't do them for any of them. But Australian Blu-rays fucking retarded. Like they fuck it up all the time.
It is quite bizarre.
Yeah. But because I've rebought them all on Blu-ray now, like I wouldn't think about rebuying them all on Steelbook. But the Peter era, I would, just because 1, I love Peter, and 2, it would line up better. My only concern is they might not do season 10 because season 10 was the first Doctor Who Blu-ray to get a Steelbook
to have a Steelbook
release.
Yeah.
But I feel like they would because that was a release they did a few years ago, And then this way, if they do it, it'll line up with all the other steelbooks they've done. But I don't know.
You know, it's the best thing to do for a company to start steelbooks, because, like, you know, we own every Star Wars movie and spin-off. So that's 12
Do you have Solo?
films on steelbook. I do, yeah. I have them all, like all 12, and they cost like $50 each.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's probably the best thing a company could do, because, like, I didn't want to buy over half of those. I didn't want to buy the prequels. I didn't want to buy Rogue One or Solo. I didn't want to buy Last Jedi. I didn't want to buy Rise of Skywalker. Apart from that, everything else I was fine buying. I can't believe that. That's like over half that I bought and spent money on. And just so I can go to bed at night, look up at it and go, I have them all on Blu-ray Steelbook. And for some reason, I can sleep better at night knowing that I have them all. I remember I wasn't going to go and get Rise of Skywalker. I remember I was just like, I can't be fucked going. And my best mate, Mitchell, he always grabs 2 Steelbooks if he sees them, one for himself, one for me. He does it all the time for like ones that we want, because they go like that sometimes. So whenever we see a Steelbook, if we're in the shops, we're like, we'll just grab one and we just reimburse each other. And I remember hearing that the Steelbook was coming out. I think I saw you got it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should probably go down. I'm like, $50, and I don't want it. And I haven't even rewatched it since December, whenever it came out. Not December, whenever the Steelbook came out. But he got me one. I was like, okay. He kind of saved my ass there. So yeah, now I got them all on that. And again, it's a great thing for companies to do. Like, I think it's a pretty smart thing to do, you know?
Yeah, I've got 3 that I really love, Steelbook-wise. Series 12.
Yeah, gone. Yeah.
A peculiar one is Hacksaw Ridge. The only reason I got it on Steelbook was because it was the same price as the normal one. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? But it looks beautiful, the Steelbook. Is
that the colour with like when he's like running?
Yeah, it's running into like an explosion of dirt, and it looks awesome.
I do love that one. Yeah, I do love that.
My third one is Rogue One. I think that looks amazing. The Steelbook
that is a cool one.
Tasty.
And on the back it has the Death Star and stuff. Oof, yeah. The spines on the Star Wars ones are really weird. My favourite one is... it's funny, I have... they actually restocked it, which I've never seen them do, by the way. But it was one of my favourite movies of 2017. And Mitch got the Steelbook. And I was like, I should get it. And then I saw it at the shops, and I didn't get it. And I went back the next week, and they were all gone. And I literally called all over Perth. And I was like, do you have it? Do you have it? They're like, no, sorry, no. It literally sold out everywhere. Didn't sell on Amazon or anything. And then it was last year when the second one came out. They restocked the Steelbooks.
Oh, for it.
So I went and... Yeah, for the first one. This was last year. So it was like, what, 2 years after the Steelbook had come out? And so yeah, I got the... I went to JB Hi-Fi and I got the Steelbook for like, I think it was like some ridiculous, like $50. But it came with a 4K as well, which is really cool, which I don't think the first one did. I might be wrong.
Yeah, most of them do come with 4K now, the Steelbooks. And that's why they're so expensive now. They charge like $50
which is lit.
for them.
That's exactly right. That's why they charge so much to them. Because like, have you got a 4K TV at home yet?
No, I don't. So it's pointless.
Okay. Bit annoying.
But
it's like a coaster for you.
I think... Yeah, it's weird. I wish they'd done them 4K for all of like the sequel trilogy Star Wars ones, but now it's like I have 7 to 8 only came with Blu-ray on the Steelbook, but then
Solo was 4K.
Solo and Rise are in 4K.
And Rise was, yeah, that's just bizarre. Yeah, because like, yeah, Last Jedi isn't in 4K.
Weird. I really think they should have done that
from Solo onwards.
And I thought they were.
From Solo onwards.
I thought they all were 4K, and then the other day I had a look in and I was like, oh fuck, they only have Blu-ray and the bonus disc.
Yeah, and now they're selling the... I don't know if you saw on JB Hi-Fi, they're doing like the 4K 1 to 9 of all the Star Wars movies. It's like ridiculous. They will take... I swear the next thing they'll do is the unaltered editions.
Yeah.
Star Wars just have every reason to re-release the Blu-ray or the 4K or anything. They'll find a way. It's like, oh, we got a new box set with all the movies on them, and now we have all this, and it's like, oh, for God's sake. As much as I'd love to have the original trilogy in 4K, I'm not spending $90 on getting all 3 of them.
No chance.
1080 will have to do. I'm afraid. I'll have to sleep with myself knowing that.
Connor. I've noticed the time. We've gone for quite a while this week, and it's not felt...
Nearly an hour.
Like last week we went off topic a lot, and sure we have this week, but I feel like it's all been like natural and good. We still need to give a rating for this week's episodes, and then we'll wrap things up, shall we?
Yeah, do you want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay, so I thought long and hard. I have forgotten what I gave Rose. I think I gave Rose an 8, I believe.
8.5.
Oh, well done. Okay, so I look back at this episode, I always loved it. Like I said, it was everything that I wanted it to be. And I really did just enjoy it, I think, as much as Rose. So I will give it an 8.5. I truly just think it's just a really fun... It's what Doctor Who's all about. It's a funny, scary, adventurous episode. The 2-part helped it amazingly. It's like... Everything that I love about Russell Zero came out in this. Great scenes with Jackie and Mickey, and great development with Mickey there as well. And some great Doctor scenes and Rose scenes and stuff. Harriet's in it, Levine. So many great things about it. The score is amazing. Yeah, so I think it is pretty high. But I think I enjoyed it literally just on par with Rose. Of just sat there being like, this is lit. So yeah, 8.5 is my score. Aidan, what about you?
I had originally written 8. But upon talking about it and just thinking about how good it is in every way, I boosted it up to an 8.5 because I think it is really good.
Have we given the same ratings every time?
Except for the End of the World. End of the World
right.
I liked significantly more than you did.
That's right. Because for Rose, and by the way, we don't talk to each other about really what we felt about the episode or ratings, so we wouldn't know.
No, I think it's more fun to be hush about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, so we didn't know with Rose, Unquiet Dead, all this, but we go to the same ratings, which is weird because normally we don't always agree on stuff. But hey, look at that. But by the way, I'm very
universally loved.
When I saw the next one trailer for Dalek, I was like, this looks lit. I cannot wait to rewatch it.
And I had the same thought. Episode. I was like, this is great. And I was just thinking about. I remember being at my uncle's house as a kid, just a wee 6-year-old boy. And just seeing the trailer for it and being like, whoa.
Yeah, because my parents would always talk about, the Daleks were really huge back in the day. And I was like, what the hell's a Dalek? And then the Dalek came on the screen with the next one trailer. And I was like, is that a Dalek? And then they're like, yeah, this is a Dalek. So I was so excited to see it. Also, fun fact, it's the guy who wrote it, he never came back. This is a one-off episode, which is really great. I might even rewatch it tonight.
I believe he'd written a book or a Big Finish, and this episode is by the same writer, and the episode is a live action version of the Big Finish or the book that it was
is that true?
Based upon. Yeah.
With a natural Dalek in it.
That if you want to stall for 30 seconds.
With a Dalek, okay. I had no idea that's a thing. I've always loved it though. I thought it was such a great episode, really does a great job. I mean, I can't say too much about it, but I might try and watch it tonight actually, because it sucks because we're getting to a point now in the series where I just really want to keep watching, but we have to kind of take it. I don't want to skip ahead as much as I want to. I feel like it gives me something to look forward to. It's fun to go each week and watch but we are filming earlier this week, which is we have to wait a little longer to film next Thursday, but yeah, I'll probably watch it next couple of days. It's probably all the stalling I can do. So
yeah, that's enough. I can't find what, but I'm certain it's based off of something. I don't know what it is, but hold on. What if I just I'll look up the writer and it'll come up on his credit because I'm certain.
Well, they do this. They do this because I remember The Lodger was a comic in Doctor Who magazine with Mickey and David Tennant's Doctor. And they took that story for Matt Smith, and obviously they added James Corden. But they do stuff like that, which is cool. So that could be true what you're saying.
Okay, so basically it's based on the 6th Doctor story, Jubilee. It's an audio drama by Big Finish. Written by the same writer, Robert Sherman, and it's directed by Nicholas Briggs, actually. So
right, and they were like, we love this, make it into a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
That's cool. That'd be a cool one to visit, actually.
Yeah, it would be. So there's similarities of it and stuff like that.
And I don't love Big Finish, so it's pretty big coming from me.
I
hope you enjoy your weekend. Well, not weekend. Are you there for the weekend?
Yeah, I come back on Sunday.
Okay, I hope you enjoy your week/weekend.
Yeah, and going down south will be fun.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good time, Connor.
Doing what? Just going to work.
Going to work.
Working. No, I had my first gig this weekend, so I'm excited.
Sure, good luck with that, champ.
Thanks. Hopefully it goes well.
I'm sure it will, Panda.
Thank
That's
you.
Connor's
Thank
DJ
you.
name.
Wow, you
Panda,
remembered.
Panda.
PNDA. Congratulations,
That's
and you
fun.
remembered. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
And to the viewer, once again, thanks for watching. Join us next week as we do talk about Dalek.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great fun. Watch Dalek and then come have a listen to the podcast. We'll be here every single Monday.
Thanks for having me, Aidan.
No worries, Connor. Thank you for joining me. It's
That's
been
okay,
a
mate.
Pleasure.
Always is. Well, long episode this week. It just went over an hour. Look at us
I
go.
know. Amazing.
Very exciting. I will see you next week.
Okay. Goodbye.
Much
Oh,
love.
wait. We need
See
to
you
do the
next
outro.
week. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I can forget.
Yeah,
Alright, ready?
sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's
Aidan's
Aidan's
and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews. Cut it, Aidan.
I'll cut it now.